Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The long off season for the New Jersey Devils continues. I had myself a little devil day at the rookie development camp. I'll talk about that in a second or two. But welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And it's been a long couple days. The free agency thing's a blur. We did the live. I was on her all day. We were watching in real time as nothing super substantial happened. We started to see the bottom six upgrades take place. And I talked about them. I do like the bottom six upgrades. Again, nothing to get super excited about. Nothing that's going to really move the needle tremendously in and of itself. But nonetheless, bottom six pieces were brought in. Dodonov, Connor Brown. Dumoulin signed his insurance. Not mad at any of it. But today, the press conference was just disheartening. I'll get to that in a minute. Let me start off with some positive news after I get this drink real quick. But what's going on with you guys? I'm going to dive in the fire. Fitzgerald, Fumble, and Fitz. We just came in second. What's up, Stick Fix? I try to follow the Fitzgerald model to turn my life around. Unfortunately, hoping and praying to not pay off my massive debts. I'm now living on the streets. Oh, that's brutal. Chico, if I recall, there's no salary cap in the offseason. As long as you're under the cap by the time the regular season starts, you're good. It's nonsensical that Luke's contract should hold anything up. So, yeah, I was going to talk about this. That is the case. So, Luke's contract wouldn't hold Fitz up from doing anything in the moment. I'm assuming what he meant by that was he was using it to say he wanted to get that done, so he kind of knew where he stood. Like, I don't think he's looking to make a bunch of moves, then sign Luke, and then have to make a bunch of moves after and kind of backtrack. I think he just, but yeah, nothing's the Luke thing is not physically stopping him from making further moves. I think just kind of in his planning and, being cap compliant by the time the season starts, that's kind of what he meant by that. But, there's options there. What's going on, Traveling Devil? Jack, zero confidence in Fitzgerald that he could fix the team. Very simple. There are teams that go all out and do anything to win, like Vegas, Florida, and Tampa Bay Lightning, and they're the Devils who don't care. Completely agree. My voice will eventually rest. Lazar for McDavid. Ship it. Jack, getting Glass and Sprong to save the team after the injuries to Hamilton and Hughes was a joke and told me all I needed to know. Well, you guys know how I feel about that. I was livid at the time, and I'm I feel like it was a squandered opportunity again. And now that the LTIR going over the cap for the playoffs loophole is being closed, we had two chances to exploit it this season and the season before, and we did not use it. And it's disappointing. I believe it still exists for this year, and so in the unfortunate / super likely event that we have guys that are LTIR eligible, we should, in fact, try to exploit this loophole the last time that it is available as a loophole. I lost my spot here. Gem Card, let's go. Ace, got to take care of voice, bro. Although I do respect the hustle. Yeah, eventually. All right, so let me start with some positivity, right? Shout out to my good buddy, Brian. Brian is a season ticket holder and always hooks up your boy with access to crazy events. And the Devils had their development camp. And they call it the Red and White Scrimmage. A lot of the top young kids in the organization are in attendance, and they usually open it up to the season ticket holders on the last day when they actually have the scrimmage. So I've been to a few of these in the past, and traditionally, and some of you may have seen some of the videos, I did put out some video footage of, our number 10 overall pick last year, the big boy defenseman from Russia, Salayev. I did some footage and posted it last year. There's a couple videos. And when they do these scrimmages in the past, they had 2 of them going on at once, but they would play on the short width of the ice. Like, so I never liked it. I always thought it was crazy because playing, if this is the rink, right? If this is the rink, instead of playing this way, the long way, like the normal rink, they would have 2 games going the short way. So like these guys take 2 strides and they're end to end. And I'm like, this isn't, indicative of anything. Like you could see little signs of skill and certain things, but I was like, this is stupid. They should get rid of this. This is shit. And this year, instead of having, I guess they normally have 4 teams. This year, they only split them up into 2 teams and they played the full sheet of ice, which I thought, finally, you guys understand. Like, why do we want to see this midget rink game? This is not even real hockey. And they played it on the full rink. Here's the little roster paper. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. But there it is, red and white scrimmage. Jacob Malik in net, exciting young goaltender. Our new draft pick, Trenton Bennett, Tyler Brennan, who I've talked about before. You got the defense, the forwards. Obviously, on Team White in goal, Big Mike Yegorov and this guy. I don't want to butcher his name. I think you say it, Viti Luhivari. Luhivara. I think that's how you say it. Cam Squires, another kid I'm pretty excited about. Big Mike Yegorov's Boston University teammate or former teammate now that he's moved on. Shane LaChance in the building. Got a good look at him. But they had the scrimmage on the full sheet of ice. I got a bunch of videos I will be putting out over the next couple days of some cool stuff. The scrimmage itself, some of the goaltending drills they were doing beforehand. I always love seeing that stuff. I've told you guys before, growing up as a kid, a part of my kind of Devils fandom as a child that sort of cemented me as a crazy diehard that would one day have a YouTube channel and ranting on a live to some of you with practically no voice, was attending practices at the old South Mountain Arena for the old guard. It was amazing. Practices were open. I would regularly beg my parents to take me. When I had a driver's license, I would sometimes cut school and go watch the Devils practice. And it was awesome just seeing the players up close and seeing some of the behind the scenes stuff. And so I enjoy seeing practices whenever the rare time they do open them up to the public. And then this development camp they've been doing for at least a few years now. And I've been going and it's exciting to see some of the young kids. And, I thought Squires looked pretty good. He had a little jump, created some chances. He did not score, but he created some chances for sure. He was noticeable on defense. Ethan Edwards, another University of Michigan Wolverine. We have a stable of them now, obviously starting with Luke Hughes and then Seamus Casey. Now Ethan Edwards, he looks like he has some potential. LaChance impressed me. He actually scored a goal in the scrimmage, and it was a great time. Shout out to the Devils for putting this event on. It was a great event. Again, I do like a huge improvement, in my opinion, to use the full sheet of ice as opposed to going the short way. It was awesome. So look for those videos. They will be coming out in the next couple days. I'll have probably a whole bunch of them. And because I was on location at the Rock at the development camp, I was not able to see the Fitz press conference until I actually played it in the car on the way home. And then I watched it again when I got home. But I played it in the car. And my mood went from pretty upbeat and good after leaving the development camp to just kind of down and out per usual. And listen, I didn't want to be negative. I really didn't. I was like, I hope this is a new kind of press conference. Maybe it'll be like a totally new Fitz press conference era. He'll say the types of things or somewhat along the lines of what we all want to hear. But instead it was what it was. And it was just more of the same and just kind of deflating. I don't believe there's going to be any major moves made after this. I mean, we might see another, depth type move, but I don't think the top 6 winger or the third line center we all want to see. I don't think it happens. Now, it could surprise us all, but from months back, a lot of you remember, I predicted in offseason that was going to basically be a Luke Hughes extension, and some bottom six tweaking. And so far, that's what we have. That's what we have. And yeah, listen, I like the bottom six, upgrades, but that in itself is not going to win us a cup. I personally, and I can only speak for myself, but I know a lot of you feel the same way. I am personally not getting excited about making the playoffs whatsoever. Making the playoffs does nothing for me. Win some rounds and be a real contender. That's it. Push for a cup. Making the playoffs this is the participation trophy loser mentality era. Mark, first-time listener, long-time caller. We need a GM coach and a PR manager for Sir Boozeface. I don't know at this point. I don't have the answers, but it's like at some point you got to push the chips in, and the time is now. The time is now. Yo Home says Luke is my number one priority, so I told his agent to take the weekend off. I mean, that really drove me crazy. I don't want to be like, how do you not get mad at that, right? Like people are like, oh, you just like to complain. No, I don't want to complain. I don't want to complain at all. I wish I could come on here and say how awesome Fitz is and how he's finally gets it and is making all the upgrades and changes that we all want to see, that we all believe are pretty obvious. But that's not what's happening. And so, unfortunately, in giving my true opinion, when you got a guy like this in the seat, it's going to be negative because it's just, what are we doing? What do we do? Fitzgerald. I forget who, but it was left on a comment from a vid. Chico Fitz has had a decent offseason, to be fair, but man, he shouldn't have spoken to the media yet. I mean, Chico. Okay, I want to know. Chico, if he does nothing else substantial, what do you think of this offseason? Let's just pretend we get another bottom six guy. What do you truly make of this offseason? Traveling Devils a season to go into without expectations. That shouldn't be the case. We have a prime core in place. Win now pieces in net. Win now pieces on the blue line. Lots of question marks up front. Chowski, Fitz really sells us snake oil at these press conferences, man. Craig, Kia Ora Ace. Do you think the Devils are still trying to recover from Ilya Kovalchuk bailing 12 years ago? No, that was a whole different regime, a different administration, and that's just kind of old news, water under the bridge. I mean, it still lingers in the minds of some of the fans. I wouldn't be surprised if Fitzgerald is not even aware of that whole situation. Jack, loved watching Fitzgerald get his ass kissed by reporters on the Devils payroll as opposed to getting asked real and tough questions. There's no real media in New Jersey covering the Devils. It's a sad reality, but it is what it is. There's a handful of people in there. They're handpicked. Half of them are on the Devils payroll, and you get softball lobs. What are you going to do? Michael S., hit the like for you. Hit the thumbs up for your boy. Thanks. Mark, if I told my manager let's wait until the holidays over, I'd be at the job lot by Monday. Louis, I hate seeing Carolina Rags, division rivals, constantly making moves and feel like we're standing still relative to them. I know we did stuff yesterday. We just don't splash at that level. No, it's just minor tinkerings, which you need as well. Minor tinkerings are good, but you also need to address the bigger issues, and that's been a top six winger. This has been a lingering issue. Again, Toffoli left. He wasn't replaced. Tatar was signed to hopefully fill in that role. He did not. All the other guys that were rotated through also did not. And here we are again without that top six winger. And really the only for the people that keep focusing on like, oh, the bottom six is better. I've given the credit for that. The bottom six is better. But in my opinion, just adding a couple bottom six pieces is akin to, let's just pretend your house was destroyed in a hurricane or a tornado. A tornado. So I think a hurricane would take the whole house away, maybe. A tornado damages your home significantly. Okay. The roof is ripped off your house. So your house is a convertible house. There's no roof on the top. The front door was blown off and some windows were broken. And you bring in the construction team and you're like, we got to fix my house. We got to fix this house. We got to live here. We got to live here. And so to live here, we have a lot of things we have to fix on this tornado damaged house. And we start with replacing the front door. Front door's back. All those cracked windows, we replace the windows. That's the bottom six. But we decide there's no roof on the house. Screw it. Screw it. We don't need a roof right now. And the roof is your more pressing needs. A top 6 forward winger that we've needed forever. And a third line center. Jeff, hoping and wishing the Fitz HBSE way. Hoping and wishing, baby. Dan, how much salary cap is freed up by firing Fitz? No. SST, I never said that. Again, I praised his offseason last year. I said, while I don't like the guy for his sins prior to that, I said I will commend a good offseason, which I thought last year was. But then we did nothing in season once again. Limped into the playoffs, got smacked, and here we are looking like we're going to be limping into the regular season. And it seems like he's just counting on healthy players as being additions. And it's like, that's not enough. Yeah, we need to be healthy, but we need to add to those players. Them just being healthy is not an addition. Jack, if Plot isn't traded and the only moves are Dodonov and Brown, there will be age. I think Marner, will do good wherever he goes, Ted. Great player. I'm sure he'll put up a lot of points. I'm curious to see what he does in the playoffs there. But I think he will thrive in an environment that's not Toronto. Toronto media and everything is just, it's a lot to handle, especially for a young kid, a guy making a lot of money, all eyes on him, the bright lights. I think Vegas will be a good change of pace for him, and I wouldn't be surprised for him to fit well there. Nick, you idiots are all overreacting. You idiots all overreacting. $6 million available, and what Luke is realistically going to receive. 1 to 2 pieces will be shipped out to accommodate that move plus other moves. Oh, Nick, if you think anything big, I mean, again, I think Palat will go because he's going to need to do something just to fit Luke. But I'm not expecting, especially after what he said. Again, I don't think I'm jumping the gun here. And I said I'll be the first to come on and apologize and say I was wrong. I would have never said all of the things that I said in the video I posted earlier this afternoon. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Kind of talking about the Fitz press conference in depth. All of those things were derived from what he said. I didn't just randomly wake up on July 2nd and been like, Fitz didn't do enough, this team, blah, blah, blah. That's not what happened. I was hoping in the back of my mind that, like, okay, step 1 is done and that over time, some other things will happen. And I was more than willing to be patient for that to happen. But when you have a press conference and say the things that he said, I have to read into that. And based on what he said, it seems as though, to anyone who can kind of read between the lines and pick up on some of the little things he was saying, it seems as though, as of today, he truly believes that a combination of the players we already had on our roster, plus the arrival of Gritsuk and Dodonov and Brown, that 2 of those guys from that pot of bottom 6 guys, or what should be bottom 6 guys, 2 of those guys will emerge as top 6 guys. That is what any logical person would take away from his press conference and the things that he said. And he straight up said, can Gritsuk be a top 6 guy? I mean, I've said it too. I said that would be a great treat. In the past, I've said that recently, a few days ago. But I am certainly not going to count on that and not actively look for another top 6 player because of it. I think that's lunacy. Gem card collecting positivity. Yegorov is in a Devils jersey. It was a great sight to see. I got lots of Big Mike footage coming out for you guys. You guys want to see some Big Mike footage? Just a little teaser real quick. Maybe I'll show you some Big Mike, a little teaser, Big Mike clip. Chico, Marner will be on a different team in 2 seasons. Vegas is cutthroat, won't fix or tolerate his playoff choking. Do you think he will? I thought he had a decent playoff recently. I thought he was like a point per game. Let's see. I know the playoffs has historically been a knock on him. Yeah, in the past, not the greatest playoffs. But this season, he was a point a game. Only 2 goals. But 2 goals, 11 assists for 13 points in 13 games this season. He has 63 points in 70 career games. I mean, 0.9 points a game. Not too bad. But that is below his, over point per game for his regular season career. So I guess people just, want to see at least that level. Yegorov is going to be the next one. He really is. I've been saying it since I saw him a few months back. I watched a few Boston games on television, BU. and I saw a game live. I actually witnessed his first collegiate shutout live. He shut out Providence. It was awesome. Big Mike. He's the next franchise goalie, guys. Val says Tuck is talking extension with Sabres. I can see that. But again, Tuck's my number one guy, but there's plenty of other top 6 guys out there that we could try to get. Tyler, what's up? If Palat doesn't get moved, I don't know where this team goes next year, and it has me worried. I think he will be, because right now we can't even fit Luke. He's going to have to do something, and it seems like Palat's the most likely. Ted, I love Yegorov's positive vibe and personality. He seems like a great kid. He seems like a very well-liked guy in the locker room, very upbeat, high energy. There's not much not to like. He's going to be the next big one. Matt says, I feel the guy from the Sharks we got as a hidden gem. Can't believe Fitz got him for that price. I think he definitely has a chance to make the team. Him and Grits can be nice together. Oh, you're talking about I forget his name. But again, is this where the bar is? Did you have any idea who that guy was before today? And don't lie. Did you have any idea who that dude was before today? I'm going to say the majority of people did not. I think that's a depth move, more likely for for Utica. Yeah, Bowers was traded for Thomas Bordelot. I mean, like, these are not moves that are going to make you a cup contender, and so I get it. The bottom 6 depth, it's all good. It's all good and fine. But you need to get the pieces that are going to move the needle, and this ain't it. Yo Holmes says, guy from the Sharks is a nobody AHL guy. That's pretty much what, my takeaway from it. Tasha, same. I also love Yegorov's personality. I watched his interview thingy after the camp. Nick says that Yo Holmes certainly isn't great, but you can't argue against numbers. That's what is available. There's a range you will 100% get. Someone plus has to move to get there. It's very black and white. Michael S., I love going to South Mountain Arena and getting autographs as a young guy. It was so amazing to live in that era and be part of that with the legends that we had in the franchise and the legends that came through the franchise at the time. Wild. SST said that nobody guy had more points in 27 games than all of our fourth liners combined. Slim pickings remaining. I think Fitz did his best. Again, Ted, you keep focusing on free agency. Forget free agency. Trades. Trades is what is needed here. Trades. The trade market. Yo, Holmes says Gallo, and why is so little cap space available? Because Fitz blows. Jack, Rust, Raquel, McCann, Tuck, anyone, make an effort. I'm with you. I'm with you, Jack. Tell the rest of the team and the fan base you care. Make the team better. Trade a first. Trade Casey. Trade another first. Win now. Couldn't have said it better myself, Jack. This is the reality. There are big 6 names floating out there. Go get one. Go get one. For all the people, I have one of my good friends. I'm not going to name him, but I have a good friend that texts me, and he's like, he's a Fitz defender. I don't know how. And I considered him up until a few months ago a pretty knowledgeable hockey fan. He's lost all credibility with me in the past few months because of some of the shit that he's texted me. And he's like, this is not NHL. You can't just make guys available. I go, buddy, every other GM finds a way to make trades. He's like, how do you know Tuck's available? I'm like, forget Tuck. Tuck's the guy I really would like. I said, but there's plenty of others. And Jack just listed Rust, Raquel, McCann, and the list will go on and on. Furthermore, there doesn't have to be a guy officially put on a poster that says, I'm available now. I've bought things from people, collectibles and things that weren't available, but I knew that someone had it. I called them, emailed them, text, and made an offer. Try to force someone's hand. But there are guys probably actively being shopped, like some of the guys you just mentioned, Jack, in addition to trying to pry a guy away that maybe a team wasn't looking to trade. There's certainly ways to get it done. Sometimes you got to be a little creative. Josh is fine. Fitz. Chico, a chance I'm hopeful about. He's the exact kind of player this team really needs, in my opinion. Yeah, I think he could be a bottom 6 dog. He was taking a bunch of faceoffs today. I thought he was a winger. He's listed as a left winger on the Devils site. But he was taking faceoffs. So, and he's a beast. So, I mean, if he could be a good face-off guy, I meant to look more into that after the camp. But he's a big boy. I was able to talk to him for a little bit as well afterwards. Super nice kid. And I told him I'm rooting for him. I said, go out there and crush people, baby. We need it. We need it. Fire Fitz merch, take my money. I don't know about all that. Ted said I was relieved to hear Fitz say that the goal is to win the cup. That's not exactly how it went down. Daniel asked him what success for the 25-26 Devils would look like, and he first hesitated. He's like, then he said being healthy, and he rambled on a bunch of other stuff, and then eventually, after a lead up, he eventually said win the cup, and that was a little discouraging to me because, like, I don't know, that should have been the first and only thing out of his mouth. Forget all the other stuff. If someone asks your GM, and especially a team like the Devils that are built to win now, in my opinion, with the right pieces added, it should 100% be a win now team. Obviously very different than like the Sharks. If you ask Mike Greer, the GM of the Sharks, he might even say to win a cup, even if he doesn't believe it's possible. If he said, what does success look like? He might say win a cup, but if not, he might say something else. And that's, they're in a different place in the terms of their window to truly compete and contend. But for a guy like Fitz, who's the GM of the Devils, the only thing he should be saying immediately is win a cup. What's success look like? Winning a cup. He eventually got there, but it took a little too long. TJK didn't watch the press conference. Did Fitz confirm he's done? He absolutely did not, but he said a lot of things that were troubling to people that were listening. If you really look at or listen to what he said and kind of read between the lines, it certainly seems as though he's done in terms of anything major, it would seem, outside of the Luke Hughes extension. Chowski, Fitz doesn't have the balls to make a big trade. Nick says, hope y'all remember this live. What does that mean, Nick? Cerberus, I think the Donov is their top six answer according to management. Well, I think they're looking at him as a potential, and they also look at Connor Brown the same way, and Gritsuk, plus whatever guys they're hopeful about that were already here. Tasha, no. The goal is to answer life's big question. What is depth scoring? Nick says, you don't have that because you don't have a Luke Hughes extension yet. You need to still make more moves to do that. You're a moron. I don't even know who that's to, but you can make those moves before the Luke extension. TJK, if Ehlers goes to the Canes, we're losing first round for years to come. They'll always own and haunt us. That may be the case regardless of Ehlers going there. I don't want him. I don't want him in our division, but I don't really want him. A lot of people, I think it's just desperation, and they keep latching onto free agent names. Go get a guy in trade. It does not need to be a free agent. And furthermore, it'll end up being a better contract as well. Get a guy with term. I've talked about Kyrou nonstop. He has 6 years left at $8.125 million. I'm not saying he's available, but find out. There's guys with term that were signed before the cap continued to go up that are on really good deals. Jason, no, they're in a contention window. They need to act like it. Look at this roster. It's just not a cup contender. It's not, as of today, I would say you're right. Would a couple pieces added make me feel a lot better about it? Absolutely. And so I agree. It's time to, push the chips in, add those pieces. Devils are supposedly in on Ehlers, according to David Pagnotta. I hope not. Holmes says to Gallo, easily fixable, sure guy. Fitz is a fool and handed out no movement clauses like candy. Chase, no, we don't even have 4 NHL centers on this roster. Yeah. I think Cody Glass is your 3C, guys. Or maybe they try Mercer at 3C and Glass is 4, but I mean, not ideal. Not ideal. Tasha, I was so confused by that when he said he told him to enjoy the weekend. Yeah, they're taking time off. There's no urgency to get this deal done. I'm only using the Luke extension as an excuse to not do anything else. Discouraging stuff. Do you think McDermott gets dumped? It's possible. I think they should just try to bury most of it. I think most of his contract can be buried in the minors. Seems like a easy solution. Chico, I'd be okay with Fitz taking bets again on guys like Gritsuk and Dodonov if he would make some in-season moves. And that's another fair point, right? It's like, if you showed any signs of being able to identify problems and address them and fix them in the season, we would feel different. But it's almost like we're also scarred now, to Chico's point. Whatever team we go into the season with, that's largely what we're going to finish with. Aside from all the guys that go down with injury, obviously. But in terms of trading to make the team better, Fitz's hands are in the pockets during the season. We saw it 2 years in a row. And this season, the deadline, Glass and Sprong. Jack, Fitzgerald, we are creating something special. Get out. That time is now. Make a big move. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Fitz feels like he can take a week off because he got Allen to sign a great deal, and he can point to that if anyone calls him out. That alone is not, I gave him praise for that. But in the end, that is just far down the list of priorities, in my opinion. It is a great deal. I pumped his tires for it. It is a great move. Good guy of the year to Jake Allen for signing that deal. But again, like on the tornado damaged house, you're patching up walls when the roof is still off. Chowski, when you get Markey, you are in a win now situation. Absolutely. And I'm sure that is the bill of goods or the dream that Markey was sold when he came here. Like, let's get you a cup in the end of your career. And it's been an underwhelming performance thus far. Jason, no, it's his job to speak to the media. He's just a moron. He could have said, we're always trying to improve the roster. Our goal is to compete for a cup. Yeah, that's what a competent person would say. Yo, Holmes, the standard goes up every year. What? Why isn't the standard the standard? There's only one standard. It's true. That was a little baffling as well, but this is what we get with the, the head scratching kind of statements. Jason, no, Fitz was the GM for a big market. He'd be gone. I agree with that. Sunrise, watching Fitz literally makes me tired physically. It's like boring, like a bad salesman full of fake hope, no fight, no nothing. Chico, what I make of the offseason, I mean, I won't lie, it would still be disappointing, but expected, as you said. I think for what was realistic, he did well, but again, the season moves are a must. Those aren't coming. I am with you that whatever we go into the season with, that's what we're gonna end with. I have no faith that he's able to facilitate an in-season trade of any meaning, and you might just see kind of depth moves again, something like along the lines of the Sprong Glass situation. It's not enough. Pucks from the Pine Tree Pod. What's going on, Benjamin? At least you didn't sign Tanner Jeannot for 5 years like my Bruins did. You never know. Maybe it pans out. Jason says Fitz is acting like 2 bottom 6 guys are going to win us a cup. That's my problem with it. I'm happy that bottom 6 got addressed, but the other more glaring, more important issues got to be addressed as well, and it doesn't seem like they are. Yeah, and then to say Gritsuk in the top 6, like, listen, I hope that works out. But to kind of be relying on that when he's never played a game in the league is nuts. Holmes, Fitz, big offseason moves, signing a jabroni potato can from the Swiss League and drafting a kid who didn't play organized hockey last year. Michael says, unfortunately, with these owners, Fitz isn't going anywhere, I guess that's supposed to say. That could be true. He could be doing exactly what they want, keeping the team somewhat decent, getting to the playoffs, make a little playoff revenue, and life goes on. Chico says, just being healthy is not an addition. 1,000% nail on the head. Look at the Panthers, one of the best cores in the NHL, and they've still added every season. Exactly, Chico. So if you see what they're doing, what Zito has done, and using the LTIR, right? It's like, oh, Matthew Tkachuk's going to be healthy. There's our addition. No, he's like, let me LTIR this man and then go get Brad Marchand. Yeah. Great teams constantly looking to get better. Constantly. Just being healthy is no real additions. And to talk about, health as if like, oh, those are our big, we're going to be finally healthy. There's no guarantee that's going to happen anyway. And furthermore, even if it did, it's still not enough. You must add on top of that. Josh said Fitz's biggest focus is signing Luke, but it seems like we can't expect anything huge after that, unfortunately. That's my takeaway in a nutshell from the press conference for sure. All right, let me try to catch up here. You guys are typing a lot. Antonino, bro, you got to get in the presser and ask these questions. Do you think, Antonino, they're going to let me in the press conference? Come on, man. No way. Tasha, I like how Fitz thinks if Jack is healthy, all of our problems will be solved. False. It does seem like he kind of thinks that. And if Jack gets hurt, he's ready to fold the season up. Nick in here might be Fitzgerald himself. He didn't say his top 6 was resolved at any point. He said his top priority was the defenseman of the future. You're overreacting. Nick, did you listen to the press conference? Multiple times he was talking about guys like Brown, Dodonov, and Gritsuk in potential top 6 roles. So I don't know if I have to further explain it to you beyond that. But if you're capable of connecting the dots, it's pretty clear where his mind is at in terms of the top 6. Pucks to the Pine Tree coming with some stats here. Marner has more playoff points in his career than Matthews, Tavares, and Nylander. Interesting. Blackatron, Yegorov is more valuable than Casey or Nemitz. I think Big Mike's certainly very valuable. I don't know if he's more valuable than Nemitz. I would say he's probably more valuable than Casey. The Nemitz one, I could see that going either way. TJK says Dougie will not be a cap dump. His value should be used for a legitimate top 6 winger. I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that, but Hanson, Vegas, and Florida are super aggressive on the win now mentality. Absolutely. And it seems like the rumor to every free agent, they're always in the thick of things. And there's nothing to talk about here with Florida. The proof is there. But Vegas is constantly in the mix as well. Yeah, Michael, how can you get excited over a dude that couldn't make the Sharks? Because this is what the fan base has been dumbed down to, right? They've just accepted losing and have such a loser mentality that when we make these depth or minor league type moves, they start trying to convince themselves and others that like this was meaningful. This is not meaningful. I'm sorry, it's not. Antonino, half the fan base doesn't understand we're supposed to be in win now mode. The majority of our fan base is clueless. I mean, that's just the reality. The majority of them started watching hockey in the past 10 years or so, and they get most of their information from what I'll call the mainstream sources, which kind of push positivity and whatever else around the team. John, I think they have a solid trade up their sleeves. McTavish, Robertson, Raquel, I don't think they're done. That would make me very happy. I just can't see it. Cisco says, Ace, let's get a few fellas and pay Tuck a visit. I think we could convince him to come to Jersey. Should we go on a recruiting trip? Luke says we're not making another move. Fitz is going to LTIR Covey. Luke signs 8.5 to 9. That's it. Mercer 3C, Booze Face special. I think that very well could be a possibility. And now Nick is an idiot. He's bringing up politics. Like, why? What is politics? We're talking about hockey, my guy. Some people are just... Luke, Drury got so much for shit and then set the rags up to make a run at McDavid. Meanwhile, we still have 3 centers in the organization in the top 4. Tasha, super hyped for LeChance. He seems very promising. I like LeChance. Well, let me catch up here. You guys are chatty. I would love to see LeChance crack the lineup. Jack, worth reading into LeChance wearing number 20 as opposed to a number in the 50s, 60s, or 70s, like everyone else in that development camp. Could he make the regular roster? Is that what that means? No, I wouldn't put too much thought process into that. I think he wore that number. Did he wear that in college? I think he did. And maybe somehow they let him keep it. He wore 18 in college. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, no. That is an interesting point. I don't think it's indicative of that he's definitely making the roster, but I think he's going to be given a chance. He will be in training camp. He is signed, and Fitzgerald named him when he was talking about the team and where they are and the prospects and stuff. He did mention, Gritsuk, Haminaho, and LaChance as guys looking to crack the team. And then he kind of separated Gritsuk and said Gritsuk's the guy, that's kind of above the rest. And the one we're the most excited for. But LaChance was mentioned in there as well. And I think LaChance is going to get a good look. If he could play his ass off in camp and preseason games, I think he has a decent chance to crack the lineup. He's a big, big boy. Samuel says, someone please show us how the set of signings gets us closer to the cup. It doesn't. Josh, I agree. Ace, the only answer Fitz should have gave for a successful season for the Devils should be win a cup, period. Completely agree. What is depth scoring? SST, the Devils must be in the top 3 in the Metro because 2 wild card spots will go to the Atlantic. Probably. I'm curious to see what Washington does next year. I think that's going to be quite a fall off. Yeah. Well, let's see, actually. The Canes are definitely going to be. I want to see Vegas odds. We might be second most favored in the division. Well, odds to win the Eastern Conference were the 4th highest. We're the 4th most favored team. Panthers, Hurricanes, Lightning above us. Yeah, which means we'll be second in the division with just the Hurricanes above us. Yeah, I mean, essentially we're being picked to finish second in the division by Vegas, which obviously means nothing. They were pretty high on us the past couple seasons. If you want a good laugh, watch the Dodonov intro interview. I didn't get to any of that yet. I want to see that and the Connor Brown. I'll watch all that tonight. Jeter, Ace, do you think he might not want to show his hand and seem desperate to other GMs about wanting to make a move? Obviously, that is a potential. I don't think it's the case. I hope it is, but I really don't. I think he was just pretty forthright. And I don't even know if he meant to kind of say some of the things he said. But again, if you read between the lines, it seems as though he believes, as of today, we have guys that are capable of playing in that top 6. And that would make me believe that he doesn't feel compelled to bring in a top 6 winger. That's a fair point, Jack. What happens if Hughes or Heischer are inevitably hurt? Mercer, top 6 center, Glass, give me a break. Yeah, it's just not. The center depth is not there. Pyro says, if I'm Markey, I'm phoning Edmonton. That would be a crazy twist of events. I'd be furious if we traded Markey. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, I'm not considering the issue of the bottom 6 like closed, Luke, in terms of like, oh, he's satisfied. I'm just saying we all knew the bottom 6 needed a revamp, and he started doing it. It's obviously not complete. I completely agree. Well, he confirmed that Kovacevic is not going to make the start of the season. So Nick, you're so lost, bro. I don't even know what to tell. Nick is just literally the only person in here. He's on an island of on his own, defending the nonsense. I don't even know what he's talking about. Nick, everyone wanted depth scoring and a legitimate top 6 player. Chico, I wonder if one of the holdups is Fitz just can't let go of guys like Casey, Mercer, Malik. He can't stand the idea of parting with one of his guys. Saw the same thing. Yeah, I mean, at some point you have to make tough decisions. You got to trade guys you don't want to trade, and you got to make moves that sting a little bit. I'm not like dying to trade any of these guys, but if you have to move one of them to make the team better, you do it. Fitz is the ultimate piss on your leg and tell you it's raining guy with these underwhelming signings being touted like true top 6 talent. Correct. In my video earlier, I used the analogy of, he's serving ground beef and telling you it's filet mignon. Like, clearly it's not what you're saying it is. Don't insult us. All right, guys, I officially don't like Nick. That should not come as a surprise. Let me see the call-in thing. Hold on. Let me see if I could fire up the call-in thing. Oh, wow. People want to call in, huh? Let's see. Let me see if I can figure out the call-in thing. Let me take a look at that in a second. All right, I'll open it up for call-ins in a minute. Who do you guys want to see? You guys want to see a Big Mike clip from today? A shootout goal, maybe? Let me see. What do we got here? I'm excited about Big Mike, but that's a future thing. That's just like on the back burner for me. I'm far more concerned about the now. Yeah, we're going to open up the phone lines tonight. Let's see. There he is, guys. Big Mike Yegorov. Remember the name. Big Mike. will be doing damage for your New Jersey Devils in the not too distant future. But that's not helping us win games today. He's going to be a stud, though. But you know who may help us win games today? Let me see something. Let me see if this works with this voice thing. Yeah, so the goalies that were there today, Jacob Malik, Tyler Brennan, Big Mike Yegorov, the new drafted kid, Trenton Bennett, and the guy we drafted, I think last year or the year before, VT Luhivara. Oh, that was what you heard was the there's the phone line number. Was the audio of a video. I was trying to figure out which video it was. I posted the phone line number in the chat. Low key, though, it does make me want to hear Nick on a call in. Somebody's calling. All right, with the first caller.
Call from
Luke.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Oh, my God. Hello?
What's up, Ace?
Yo, what's going on? So, I don't know. This still isn't integrated fully. Can you guys hear Luke? Luke, you there?
I'm here.
Yeah, more people are calling. All right, so can you guys hear Luke in the chat? Someone tell me, can you hear Luke? Let me swing this over.
I'll make this quick.
All right, what do you got?
I mean, come on, listen, we all know, like, no one, like you said, unless you're delusional, you knew this wasn't going to be a crazy deadline. I mean, a crazy free agent period for us.
Mm-hmm.
But we were all holding out hope. I mean, come on, $6 million for a third, fourth line winger in Palat. You got to figure, like, San Jose needs to get the cap floor, you know, and Palat's totally useless. Maybe you can actually pull, like, a Drury and get, like, a 7th-round pick for him. This guy has to come out and basically shit on day one and basically say today, we're basically done till Monday. Like, I was actually shocked they even signed Glass. I thought we wouldn't even get Glass signed until after Luke. And like I said, I mean, if you look at it, Kobe's going long-term IR. They don't even have to sign anybody else. They can just sign Luke and say, this is our team, guys. Here we go.
After, again, for the people that are like trying to be like, oh, you're complaining on July 2nd. I mean, and to be fair, I would have been patient and not said a damn thing for a while, right? But when they have the press conference and you say all those things, and when you connect the dots, I mean, did you have the same takeaways that I did from it? Like, it seems as though he's
dude, total Tommy Boozeface Fitzgerald just putting his foot in his mouth. Like, why don't you just not say something? I'd rather say nothing, keep us in suspense, and give me some hope.
That may have been better. You might be right. But yeah, it seemed like, you know, the guys we picked up, plus some of the other ones are already here. Some of them have top 6 potential. We like to play them up. As soon as you hear that up and down the lineup kind of shit, you're like, oh boy. It's
again, with Fitz, whenever he compliments the guy, I feel like the guy's doomed anyway. Like, he told us how great Foot was, and he had a great, we developed him so well, did it the right way, and now he's in Florida. It's like, so happy that Foot really developed well here.
He'll be
I can't wait to see Foot. Gonna see Foot hoisting the cup next year.
I mean, they're built to win for a while. I think with that group, they have to win at least another one, if not two more. I mean, they're just.
I mean, dude, they resurrected Bob Rakowski. Remember that just a couple years ago, like, they got to buy him out. He's not good. It's like, they weren't clicking. Now they got guys like Ekbal taking. Nobody takes $6 million. Like, this is a guy who got probably 10 on the open market. And then again, Florida's smart too. They're like that team that they don't have to win they don't care about being the number 1 seed. They just got to get in the playoffs. That's it. Just get in the playoffs, and then they're gonna roll.
They flipped the switch for sure. And again, for all the people that are like, all you people want physicality or crazy. It's like, did you watch any of them? I mean, how sweet was that shift when Bennett crushed 2 dudes and then had the breakaway goal? I mean, that was insane.
Oh, dude, it was like vintage. It was like a vintage Devils play from back in the day. That was like a penalty kill where Manuel just takes off and scores in a breakaway. Like, that took me back to that. And again, I get back then everybody played that way, but people don't see, like, in sports, you're either a trendsetter, which is what Florida is. You're trying to be in that trend, or you're a dinosaur. And right now, we're a dinosaur. We're like Toronto light. And what does Toronto want? Jack shit. Like, if you're trying to be a speedy team, that's all you're good at, come playoff time, you're not going to get out of the first or second round.
No,
I don't care.
I agree. I think at this point, without some of those bigger pieces that we all want to see brought in, the only chance of really winning a round would be off of the back of just Markey straight up steal, or possibly Allen stealing games. Because
agreed, and our defense, which has been the one. Again, I'll give Fitzgerald credit for certain things. Like, he's done a good job with guys like Siegenthaler. Kovacevic, everyone was flipping out when he signed the contract. If you see this stuff that got signed in free agency, I think you said it on Twitter too. It's like, you see the contracts, he could have got $7 million in free agency.
Oh yeah, no.
I mean, and he could actually play hockey, unlike some of the guys that were getting contracts.
For sure, I was big on Kovacevic early. I told everybody I kind of fell in love with him pretty early and openly talked about wanting Fitz to sign him. It sucks that he got hurt, obviously, but had he not gotten hurt and went to free agency this year, he would have got paid crazy. But it worked out for him because of his injury. It definitely worked out for him.
And you see the moves, like we were talking about, like teams that have balls, like you have to take a chance to win.
Yeah.
Everybody right now is like, don't trade Hamilton because you don't know if Luke Hughes and Nemeth can handle the load. Dude, you have to take that risk now because Hamilton has value. There's no good right-hand defenseman available. Their teams need a guy that can run a power play. And I love Dougie. I'm not saying get rid of him because he's a bum. His contract is a steal right now. His money is basically paid. $9 million for what Dougie does is a fucking deal for a contender. And you take that money, you give most of it to Luke, and now you have the money that you would have used for Luke, you have a little bit extra cap room. Like that, you have to do something. You can't just sit pat and say, okay, because if Palat's on this team next year, he's going to be playing top 6 minutes, and we all see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
And if Dougie's here, you have all this money kind of in the defense. You can't even let Luke Hughes flourish. I mean, listen, if you're going to pay Luke Hughes $9 million a year, he needs to be playing power play 1. Like, I don't want to see Luke Hughes having sheltered minutes at $9 million a year. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here?
So I'll tell you this. I'm in the camp of, I'm not saying firmly don't trade Luke. If it was up to me, I mean, Dougie rather, I would keep him for 1 more year. But to your point of now with the new cap thing, with the cap going crazy, is his whole contract way more attractive now based on what these other guys are getting and what he still could potentially bring to a contender at this point in his career? If there is a deal that makes sense in place, I certainly wouldn't say no to trading Dougie. I just don't want to trade him for the sake of it, because there are people just get rid of Dougie. And I'm like, dude, like if it makes sense. Yeah.
No, get rid of Palat. I mean, if you have to pay too, just get rid of him. But listen, I'll give you a hypothetical. I've seen a lot on the internet. There's rumors that Vegas is like, wanting a right-hand top, defender who can play the power play. And I don't think that they would want to get rid of Hurdle. But I mean, would you do Hurdle for Dougie straight up? I would.
What's Hurdle's cap? What's Hurdle's cap hit right now?
It's like 6.25. for like 4 more years or 5 more years. And I mean, the guy scored 33 goals last year.
Let me see.
I mean, you could roll him right into the top 2 lines. You could play center. You could play wing.
His caps hits 8.1.
No, is that after the money that San Jose is retaining? Thomas Turtle on Vegas is like 6.25, I think, because they retained like $2 million in San Jose.
Really? Okay, so on Puckpedia it just shows the 8.137.
I mean, they got it wrong. They got me running to the camera.
But still, I mean, yeah, it's definitely something you can.
Even if it was, I'd still go for it. I mean,
it's something you consider. It's definitely something you consider. Very interesting scenario. You think someone would give up something like that? You're like, I knew.
Well, I mean, Dougie's no. Thomas Hurdle is 6.75. 6.75 until 2029, 2030.
What site is that on? I'm on Puckpedia, and it says.
I'm on Puckpedia too. It's on Vegas. I'm talking Thomas Hurdle on Vegas.
Oh my God! Is there another? Hold on. Yeah, mine shows 8.137. Year 4 of 8.
I'm on the right one. I'll send you a screenshot. It's the Vegas Golden Knights, man. Thomas Hurdle, 6.75 million.
Are you sure?
Positive. That's the reason why this has been getting floated around, because apparently they were unhappy with his playoff performance. Again, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just going by the rumors you read on, like, the TSN sites and stuff. But again, whether it's him or somebody else, I would take someone even lower that fits into our top 4. Like, if you could get a guy in the top 4 for Dougie Hamilton, I feel like you have to make that trade. And you know what? If you have to take a chance on like a cheap player like Carolina does that can just fill in, then you do that. Like, listen, we got Dumoulin for a 2 and a 3, and that was because they wanted to save on some cap space. Like, there's plenty of guys out there that can fill in the bottom of the defense.
Are you near the computer? Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
This is what I'm looking at for Hurdle.
Oh, I have to get the Google on where you are. All right, I'm there now. You're on YouTube, right?
Yeah. Why am I seeing? I don't know why. Someone else said they see what you see too.
Wrong. It's 6.75. I'm telling you.
So okay, so that's not showing. So that was his original contract. Everyone's saying the San Jose money is not being accounted for in there somehow.
I don't know why. I don't know what part you're on to see that, but yeah, it's 6.75. You just click on just Vegas, it'll show their whole roster, and it's Hurdle at 6.75, which is a fucking steal.
Oh, that's
because their GM has balls.
They're in it every year. They're rumored to everybody.
I mean, they're and the thing is, like, everyone's like, oh, well, Fitz has this really good relationship with players. Like, that's great. Like, I can't believe Allen doesn't have any trade protection, but at the same time, it's like, at some point, winning should become the number 1 priority. Like, we're in win now. Nico's a free agent. Next year, they have to renegotiate Nico's contract, or he walks.
Dude,
like, we're already there, dude. We're already there.
Don't even bring me to that point. That is my literally biggest fear, is that he's like, you know what? It's been fun. I kind of grew up here, but it's time for me to go win somewhere else.
Yeah, no. And I don't want to see him traded and then have to hear about how, well, next year we're going to get Quinn. I don't want to hear that. Like, no. We should have him locked up and then get Quinn. You know what I mean? Like, you don't take 2 steps back to take 1 step forward. That doesn't make any sense.
No, I agree.
So, anyways, love the show, man. Love the other guys calling. I'll be in touch.
Appreciate it, man. Talk to you soon. But yeah, it's certainly intriguing. If not Hurdle, something like that. Like, people get laser focused on the one person you throw out there, right? Like, oh, is he available?
Yeah,
like, the point remains, something like that.
Colorado just got burned. So Colorado's out. They got their right-handed shot. So the numbers are dwindling. Somebody's going to want Hamilton as a contender, as long as Dougie's a good player. He just, when he gets hurt, that sucks. But like, you put Dougie on Vegas or Colorado or any of those top teams, he's going to look like he did a couple years ago, because he's going to be fucking firing that shot off, and they're going to utilize him the right way. He's not going to have to do things he doesn't have to do like he does here. Like, yeah, the $9 million for Dougie Hamilton is a steal right now.
I don't know
realize that people-
about. You think I don't know about. I think Steele might be a little strong, but
Dude, $9 million. Imagine if Dougie was a free agent right now. He would get $9 million.
you think
He might not get 8 years.
you think
at
with
his
the
age.
with the injury questions though, if he was fully healthy, I agree. But with the injury stuff,
Yeah, you're right. You're right. The 2
It's a
years
little-
of injuries are going to take some of it off.
yeah. But to the point of teams, he does bring something, and teams that are in a contending position should see the value in him. And yeah, if there's any sort of piece like that could be had for him, I would be all about it for sure as well. But I would really be crossing my fingers that these kids are going to hold it down in his absence.
Oh yeah, and listen, they're going to need to get some of their depth. I mean, like I said, you got to find like a Kulikov for someone that's dirt cheap that can fill in. But like those guys are available. That's what a good GM should do. You find those guys. I mean, Dumoulin was a great pickup. I mean, they paid more because they didn't want to spend money on HVAC, but it is what it is. I mean, he played great. He just didn't want to be a Devil.
Yeah, we
he
essentially
did not want to be here.
We essentially sold a draft pick. Like that's what that literally was. We sold a draft pick.
Yep. Just to save some money, because they needed to get Josh Daniels some new cleats. But other than that,
man, what a mess. All right, man. Good talking to you. I'll talk to you soon, and we'll see who else is going to call in here. I'll probably get some arguments with people, but always good talking to you, and we'll keep our fingers crossed that something materializes.
You too, brother. Have a great one.
Take care. Bye bye. All right, there. So it's one at a time here. This is I can't just. Oh, and there it is. We got a
Call from
Antonino.
Antonino, you are live. Lower the computer, though. I think you might have the computer on the back. Yeah, so you got the echo.
Oh, okay, cool. Hey, listen, bro, love the channel, love what you do for all of us. It's a therapy session every night. All right, so walking into this shit, I thought Palat should be off the books right off the bat. $6 million would have cleared up. You could have utilized that to get. I like a guy like T.S. Shooter, down low, 3C position. That would have been good to go. But he went for 2 years, fucking $4 million or some shit. You could have done that. Palat's got to go. The fact that he's still on the team drives me fucking nuts. So maybe I shouldn't curse too much. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
But goddamn, dude. All right, cool. But yeah, I mean, I agree with what the other guy was saying before, though. Listen, you're in a win now mode. Dougie's definitely got some value. I wouldn't say like $9 million open market, but definitely he could be shipped out there somewhere and get a decent second line center or winger in return. Definitely.
No,
And I agree with you. Dude, you got to do win now moves. Talk this, that. Give him Mercer, Casey, a first round pick, whatever you got to do. You got to do it now.
I've been pounding the table for win now since 22-23. I mean, again, the core is aging. Everyone likes to talk like they're in their second year. Nico Hischier and Brader have played on this team for 8 seasons. They have won a single playoff round. They have won 7 total playoff games. We are squandering careers.
Yeah.
The chips got to go into the middle. The time to win is now.
Yeah, and like I said, with the presser, I did not like at all. Oh, well, Demidov could slide up and down, and what's his face? He called him a Swiss jackknife. Like, no, it's not a jackknife. It's a Swiss Army knife. But dude, you can't expect Connor Brown to go onto the first line and be like, our amazing, that's it, our top 6 is solidified, bro. It's insanity. It's cheap. It's being lazy and scared to put your balls on the table like a Zito. And you know what? I hate the freaking Rangers, but Chris Drury's a beast. He dumped all the garbage out, and he cleaned up everything, got a hole for Miller, and I got to hear my Rangers fans shit on me all day that Fitz is sleeping on his ass.
It's all true. For all the Ranger fans that I know that have complained about Drury to me, I'm like, dude, he dumped off some of the worst contracts you guys had. No retention.
$8 million, nothing retained.
No retention.
2 years and got a fourth.
And people, it may not, I don't know how they feel about how it all played out in the end. And I guess it's still super early to judge it. But I was like, getting JT Miller to try to salvage last season is a ballsy move.
Dude, getting JT is what that team needed. Like, they needed that big, gritty guy who gets into down low areas. He's a great player. And for $8 million, everyone's like, oh, it's expensive. Now look at that. You got Marner's signing for 12. Not saying he's not worth it. He's obviously worth it. But point being, cap going up, that $8 million number is really like $6 million number now. You know what I mean?
Anybody signed years ago, anybody that was signed years ago with term is going to end up is assuming that the contract was somewhat decent to begin with. It's going to age great because you're getting, Kevin Ball just got $5.35 million. I mean, what are we talking about?
Right. With the Kevin Ball situation, though, I think it's because he plays it's in Calgary and it's hard for them to get people there, so they have to throw an extra $500,000, $750K,
Yeah.
in my opinion. But still, point being is, you know, it's insane, bro. What pisses me off is 2 days in, Palat submitted his freaking 10-team trade list. Get him the fuck out. Give a third-round pick with Palat. Go. See you later. Get it done. That $6 million could be used, plus a couple million. You get Luke 9 for 8, 8 by 9, whatever it is. And then you still have money to play with, and still increase. And then you trade Mercer, so that's another $4 million. You could bring in Kyra. You don't think that the Blues would do Mercer, 2 first-round picks, and Casey? You don't think that can get you done for Kyra? Come on, it's
rewind. Wait, hold on. I'm totally with you with, you know, and to the point with Palat, if there is some sort of stick up or hesitation from teams willing to take him on, I would even, if you have to do it, as crazy as it may sound and it might suck, if you have to give a second-round pick with them to do it, so be it. Look at the bigger picture. Free up the money.
I would give a second, 6, 7 together. I don't care. This is win now. I don't give a shit about Magic Bean. I need production now.
I'm with you. Wait.
Now,
so give me your so Palat, I'm completely on board with that. Sweet.
We dump Palat for second, fourth, fifth, whatever. Mm-hmm. Nobody comes back.
Give me your Kyra situational.
So a legit. So you got to figure every other team in the league is going to try to get Kyra.
For sure.
He's a young kid, high points, locked up, good term, good contract, 8.1 by 6 years left. Great. I would give Mercer, who's a roster player and high potential, 2 first-round picks, don't give a shit, and sweeten it up, Casey. Let's get it done.
That is a lot, but I will tell you, I would also be on. I would be on board with that as well. I would try.
I'm not trying to rip them off. That's legitimate fair value.
Dude.
4 first-round picks.
No, that's definitely more than fair. I'm wondering in my head now if someone could even beat that deal. And again, I think people are going to say it sounds crazy, but you have to realize, and obviously you understand the value of it. The value of getting a guy like that with 6 more years at $8 million is really like found money.
Absolutely. And it's and you know, people crying about the Timo 8.8, whatever. Okay, look at that contract now is looking even better. Granted, okay, we all want to do more of this, that, but granted, half the time he's playing on the opposite side wing of the Lindy route. Let's not get into it. But now the contract looks better. Look at freaking Nico. He's at 7 point something. That shit looks amazing right now.
Theft.
So people got to understand, you have to get guys with term on the contract that are around the age of Jack, Luke, you know, et cetera, Jack and Nico and Brodder, so they all grow together and it could be like a big transition forward. But
time out. I gotta address all these people that keep saying like, oh, some of these guys have no move and no trade clauses. They could waive them. The team could go to these guys and ask them if they're on board with these deals. It doesn't mean they can't be traded. People are under the assumption that they just can't. It's impossible.
Mm-hmm. No, here's the thing. After what I seen Chris Drury do, where Truba was bitching and crying, oh, my wife, my residency, my wife. Listen, my wife's a doctor. She's going to be in residency. I get it. But you know what? This is the NHL. Business needs to be done. Money moves need to be made. Like he got Truba out the damn door, made him feel uncomfortable, did whatever the hell he had to do to get him out. Goudreau, oh, you want to stay? Okay, no problem. Your ass is going on waivers, or you're getting sent to San Jose. What are you going to do? Get sent to San Jose. Kreider, your ass is gone too. Bro, he cleared up. What is that? 8, 3, it's 11. He cleared up like almost like $17, $18 million of garbage. But Kreider's got some value, but the other two are garbage.
No retention.
No problem.
No retention.
And no retention. And Keandre Miller is horrible. All my Ranger friends say he's terrible. And look what they just got. 2 first-round picks and an A prospect on defense. I mean, hello, you can't get rid of Palat by attaching sweeteners? Come on, bro. It's unacceptable. Its ownership is cheap, and they don't want to dish out money. They want to do just, like I said, the Dumoulin thing was a perfect example. No reason to give a second-round pick for 50%. Let's not even get into that. But we all know what the story is.
It's a cost savings, but in terms of them being cheap, I think they are, but they've shown they are willing to spend to the cap. And so to the point of this conversation, that wouldn't be prohibitive. We're not talking about spending LTIR money here. We're just talking about the best way to maximize the cap. So their cheapness, which has been proven, to your point, again, with the selling a draft pick with the Dumoulin thing, there should be no red tape to facilitate something along the lines of what you're saying.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Like I said, the money thing, I think they would spend only if it makes 100, like if the high reward kind of thing is like really into play, right? But now, like I said, Dougie just got paid $10 million in signing bonus. Palat, we got a couple million. They just dished out like 12, 13 million bucks. So right now they're not going to want to spend too much, which is why you didn't see no big flashy moves. Not that I wanted anybody in free agency, really. I did want like Nick Bukestad, Radek Foska for like the those bottom six. Like that was a good piece. Bukestad's a big guy. Blah blah blah. Even Anthony Manta, $2 million for bottom sixes, I would take it. But now this guy thinks that Donovan is going to slide in top six. It's just like, bro, well, come on. He's not being Bill Zito. He's not being Chris Drury, where you're putting your balls forward and you're going to make big moves and like risk it, like fucking roll the dice, put everything on black or put everything on red. You know what I'm saying? And that's what bugs me out. You have these good players, the Jacks, the Nikos, the Bradders, the Timos, all in their mid to high 20s. This is the time to go all in. Markstrom's not getting younger. Not that he's playing bad. He's playing great. He's the reason why we won one playoff game because of him.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the time to just go for it. The Cairo trade, 2 first-round picks, and fucking I wouldn't trade Nemec. I'd rather trade Casey because Nemec really grew a lot in the playoffs. I love what he did in the Carolina series. Stepped it up a lot. But dude, something like that. Okay, he's not available. I would go down every single team on the list and say, hey, is this guy available? Hey,
no, I'm with you. I'm with you. And people keep telling me, oh, these guys aren't available. I said, yeah, no one's available until you call them and make this offer. Then all of a sudden shit changes.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I would think, okay, his no move kicked in. I wouldn't see a problem with him wanting to come to the East Coast area near New York, whatever, this, that, and the third, and play with good young superstars like him. You do that. You call up who's the Armstrong over there in St. Louis. You put that table or the offer on the table, you best believe I think he's going to do it. You know, I mean, shit, it's common sense. Like, you got to do risky moves. Like, look at Zito. This guy don't give a shit, bro. He'll mortgage his house to make a fucking deal. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need. And then Drury being really good too is pissing me off too, because now the Reds are gonna be better this year. And they got $36 million for cap space next year. Guess who's free agents? McDavid, Eichel, the list goes on, and Kaprizov. Come on.
If they get McDavid, I'll throw up. All right, listen, Antonino, appreciate the call.
Good talking to you. No, I feel bad. Yeah, no. I appreciate you getting me in, bro.
Awesome. Good times. Hopefully something happens, but we'll sit here and keep waiting and hoping.
Well, we got you live for the rest of our lives, so we're gonna keep doing live.
All right, man. Thanks. Good talking to you. Take care.
See you later, bro. All
right, bye. You guys, some of you people in the chat are brutal. I'm not trying to be rude over here and rush people off. It wasn't like there was other people calling in. And I haven't done this in a while, so I'm a little rusty, guys. Bear with me.
Call from
Nick.
Oh, Nick. Nick wanted to call in. What's up, Nick?
Hey, man. Appreciate what you're doing.
I can't hear you. You there?
What?
Are you there?
Yeah.
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, sorry about that. Hey, no hate. Appreciate what you're doing.
Okay.
I think it's great.
Thanks.
Real quick, I think that if you look at what Fitz said today with wanting to lock up Hughes and the money that's currently there, it's not feasible. So moves have to be made to accommodate that contract. And with that, like the last caller had said, you're going to see something like Mercer, Casey, maybe Dawes, who no longer has a fit in the system, and a first-round pick out for a Robertson, a Kyrou.
Wait, but explain to me how you just I missed the whole point of how you just jumped to that from you're like, okay, he wants to lock up Luke, which means he has to do something else to fit him based on where we are now, right? And then you just kind of went to this other. I'm just trying to piece.
All right, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I'll play it out for you. Ideally, Fitz ships out Palat to whatever team he wants to go to out of the 10, and that's going to take him on. They're going to get.
Wait, let's just do them.
New Jersey will get.
Go ahead.
New Jersey will get a low mid round pick back for that. They'll get like a 6.
New Jersey will take the other 50% of the Palat contract and ship that to the Sharks because they need to get to the cap floor. New Jersey will give a second-round pick to the Sharks for taking on that part of the contract. So Palat is completely now off the books. 50% to the team he went to, 50% to the Sharks.
All right, but either way, we have about $6 million right now. You get rid of Palat's money, you're at 12. For round math, let's say we give Luke 9. Now we have $3 million. Go from there.
You need somebody to play in a top 6 wing role. It's not Mercer. You ship out Mercer, you ship out Dawes, you ship out Casey because you have a logjam at defense. You maybe add a first or a second to that, and you are getting either Kyrou, Robertson, Hurdle.
Okay, so I agree that the path is there via many ways. The previous caller laid out some scenario, your scenario. They all make sense dollars-wise. What I'm wondering is, what about anything that he said makes you believe that's where he's going with all of this?
Because in order to, the reason why is in order to get Luke, he has to do one thing. And then the second he does that one thing, there's another glaring weakness. You're not going to just leave a glaring weakness. Unless you're trying to get fired.
Well, I mean, if it's just a temporary paper weakness before the season starts, is that really that big of a deal? If he knows what's coming behind it?
Yeah, but you got to make some money work, I guess. I mean, I guess technically you're right. I guess it isn't.
Right. So to me,
but you also want to have that. If from a financial person, I would want to look at, I have X amount of money. These are my needs. These are my wants.
I mean, I get it. But after everything he said, myself and many others that I had spoken with here, both on the show and in my regular life, everyone kind of had the same kind of feeling after listening to what he said. It was like, this guy believes that a combination of Gritsuk, Dodonov, Brown, and maybe someone else who was already here on the roster, that two of the guys out of that group will join the core 4 to make up the top 6. It didn't seem like he thought he was in any sort of situation where he would be looking for a top 6. Again, maybe this was all, poker face kind of situation. I don't think it was, and I hope I'm wrong. But all the people I talked to kind of took the same sentiment from it, and it was like, yeah, the top 6 is being rounded out with bottom 6 players, and we're hoping.
I think that we're reading the tea leaves. I mean,
he straight up said
Gritsuk will make the top 6. 100%.
to start the season.
Question.
To start the season. Or eventually.
I think he'll probably stay there.
But you think he starts the season in the top 6?
Gritsuk, I think he's going to get the first shot.
So you think game 1 he's in the top 6?
Yes.
Okay, I understand you're hoping and wanting that, and I'm hoping and wanting that too. However, if you're the general manager, is that hope and desire for Gritsuk to start the season in the top 6, having never played a game in this league before, mind you, is that going to preclude you from trying to get a known commodity top 6 winger on the market?
No. And I think that it's like I just said before, I think they're going to, once you get rid of Palat's contract, this is going to see a quote unquote glaring hole and have to get another top 6 winger. You're going to get rid of Palat to fit Luke, and you're going to have to replace a top 6 winger.
Well, you're in this exercise, you're counting Palat as a top 6 winger. I mean, I know he played there, but it's not like, oh my God, we lost Palat. What are we going to do now?
I'm not saying he should play there, but technically speaking, yes, you have to count him there. Who would you put there?
Well, I mean, do you have to count them there? Because now we're getting in the mind of Fitz, and he told us Gritsuk has the potential, and he also said Connor Brown and Dodonov does. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to, he literally said with Gritsuk, he was like, can he be a top 6 guy? And then he didn't use such strong language, but talking about Brown and Dodonov, same thing. You know, the up and down the lineup, ability to play in different spots. And so, to your point, I think even with getting rid of Palat, he's already accounting for those spots being filled by these guys. Again, I hope I'm wrong. I did not get that vibe based on what he said, but you think that's what he's doing. I mean, I hope you're right. I would love to be wrong. I really would. I just don't think I will be.
I think it would be extraordinarily, like, I don't think Fitz is trying to lose his job. You know what I mean? Like, let's just be realistic here. Like, we all have jobs, right? Fitz is not trying to lose his job.
Well, what if he
has to go?
What if he didn't think his job was in jeopardy, though?
Luke.
What if he's been told his job is not in jeopardy behind the scenes? What if you're like, just keep doing what you're doing? The team's making money. As far as we know, they might not give a shit at all.
Yeah, but it's how many more years can that go on? I mean, like, eventually, like,
I think the team would be profitable every year, even if they didn't make the playoffs. With the money, the way they're,
I think Prudential Center would. I don't know if the team would. They're two separate entities.
I know, but I think now with the revenue sharing, with the new TV deals and all the shit and blah blah blah, and now they're possibly getting a payout for an expansion team coming. I'm pretty sure that even like bad market teams that don't even sell tickets, and the Devils sell a good amount of tickets, I'm pretty sure that NHL franchises across the board are going to be profitable to varying degrees, obviously, depending on the market. But this ownership group has just been collecting sports franchises like baseball cards. And so you, at some point, you have to wonder, like, you know, not spending LTIR money is a pretty damning thing. Are you really trying to win? Are you going to do everything it takes to win? And I'm firmly going to say, no, they're not, because 2 years in a row, the LTIR money was there, and we spent a very little bit of it last year, with like $13 million available.
To be fair, I completely agree with you during the midseason, 100%.
What, in terms of not making any moves at all?
Yeah, correct.
It's troubling. So that's why a lot of people are just getting impatient. Even people that I know were ardent Fitz supporters, even up to the playoffs, I think, and this doesn't change my mind. Once, you know, my opinions are formed on what I've seen over time. And in my book, he kind of cemented his fate with me by not getting a goalie for the 23-24 season. But there are people, I think, that are just the eternal optimists and don't want to believe that a team they're a fan of or whatever it is in a grim situation. But then sort of FOMO kicks in when they see other teams doing things. And there are people that legitimately believed, like, you know, we were going to go out there this summer and it was going to be like Robertson was coming and this guy. And I'm like, how do you think these are all happening? Like, I live in reality with some of the stuff. Some of the stuff is pipe dreams, but there's at least a path to the pipe dream. Like Kyrou very well may be a pipe dream, or Robertson, one of these types of guys. But there is a legitimate path to get there with the assets and the guys we have to move out. Like, there is a path where it could happen. But there's people that just think like it's going to be a superstar studded summer and we're going to get all these guys. And it's like, that's clearly not happening. But when they see other teams making moves, they start to be like, well, wait, all these other teams are getting better and Fitz isn't doing shit. And so while they're kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, I guess, breaking point with Fitz may come from an unrealistic place, it's also just a factor of time of kind of seeing the same old thing, the team not getting any better, and around we go. And I just feel like we're living in Groundhog Day, and this is going to be another season of the same, hoping and wishing for bottom six guys.
Yeah, I understand your eternal misery, I guess, but let's also not pretend like we're not in a significantly better place than we were 4 years ago.
Okay, but let's compare it to the 22-23 season. And someone wrote this to me on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and it's a fair question. They said, are we better and or closer to a cup today, or worse / further away than after Game 5 in 2023? And my immediate response was,
that guy that wrote that to you, by the way, is a crazy person.
I don't know who any of these people are, and I honestly hate X. But my answer, I believe, was something along the lines of like, I could make the argument for both depending on how you look at it, because as it stands, like at the very moment, I would say we're worse and further away. But with a couple key ads like what everyone's been talking about here tonight and people on all their platforms, you know, a big impactful winger and maybe a true third line center, whatever it is. With those pieces added to what we have now, I would say that team is much closer. But if nothing is done, I would say we're further away, but we're in a position to be able to be closer, if that makes sense.
So I have a question for you. Hypothetical.
Yeah.
All we do now is sign Luke. How are we worse this coming season on paper than we were last year?
How are we worse than
going into the season on paper
than last year?
Yeah.
No, I was
worse on paper this coming year.
No,
Luke signs.
I would say we're better on paper than last year, but I was talking about compared to 22-23 when we won a playoff round, not last year. You can't. Okay. Only a crazy person would say we're not better on paper than last year. All the same players are back, minus Halla and some bottom six guys, plus a couple bottom six guys that are better. So obviously, you would have to. Anyone would have to say that we are undeniably better on paper. Now, to what extent and how much are we better? I would say marginally. Again, because all you really did, you're talking about getting rid of Halla, dropping some guys like Lazar, Bastian, Sprong, and then replacing them with Dodonov and, Lamico and Brown. I would say on paper, definitely better. How does that translate, into the standings and where we finish in terms of a playoff spot? I don't think it would be incrementally better just from the improvements. Now, obviously, there's the wild variable of, do the top guns have better seasons than they did last year? I think for a lot of it, that's going to be kind of the determining factor more so than the bottom six guys. I mean, I would love for the bottom six guys to all play lights out and, this was this amazing team and this resurgence. But in the end, the top guys got to be the top guys and they got to produce like it and stay healthy, obviously.
And it's also not, I guess, now that we've run through numbers, impossible that we get another top guy.
But you say that one more time?
I guess now that we've run through numbers, it's also not impossible that we get another top guy. Because we have to get to Luke somehow and get into Luke.
You're saying it's not
another hole.
But you're saying it's possible to get
another hole.
You're saying it's possible to get a top guy.
It's entirely possible.
Right. I never doubted the feasibility of it. I am doubting the desire and appetite for Fitz to do it. I knew the numbers that's why I've been so angry for the past couple of days, because to me, I took the press conference as he's like, I think we're good in the top six. And in my head, the whole time, moving Palat and one other guy, whether that's Dougie, whether that's a Mercer for a clear upgrade in the tops, for a top six upgrade, the path is there many different ways. And so will it happen? Because it will take a little bit of balls, either trading a Dougie or a Mercer or one of them with a guy like Casey, like something more than just offering guys contracts. I think anyone could do that. I think children could do that. That doesn't take any conviction and it doesn't take any balls, but trading.
I think a lot. I'll leave with this comment because there's other callers and shit. I think that Palat and Mercer are 95% chance both gone this coming offseason.
Mercer too, huh?
Palat and Mercer.
It's interesting. I like Mercer. I wouldn't want to just trade him for the sake of trading him. Some people act like he's this, the awful player.
I don't think he's being traded for the sake of being traded for future assets necessarily. I think he's being traded in a package to upgrade what's here.
And I'm firmly on board with that move. I am just not one of these people that's like trade him out of some people talk about him like he's Palat, like clear the salary no matter what. I'm like, dude,
he's not like Palat
at all.
I'm sure he definitely has the potential to be something much, much better down the road. And that's great. Good for him. I hope that, but it doesn't help the Devils in 3 years. I'd rather see Cup potential in 3 than Mercer potential with a Cup in 5.
I could see that
personally.
All right, Nick, but listen, I have to call you out on this just because they're roasting me in the chat, and I thought about it, and I was going to not say it, But they all said for the guy that wanted you to cut off the phone calls, he's talked longer than everybody.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get off. I'm sorry.
Nah, just busting your balls, man. All right, good talking to you. Hopefully we all get pleasantly surprised, and hopefully Fitz brings us home that top 6 piece we all want to see one way or another.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, man. Go have a good night. Take care. Bye. And there it is. And there it is. You guys are hilarious. It's so funny. I thought about that, and I'm like, this guy was busting. Nick was busting my chops to keep the phone calls moving, and here he is, like on a. That was like a long one. That was a long one. That is pretty funny. You guys are hilarious. Oh, the number. My bad. I should have pinned it. We haven't done the calls in a while. I got to get the technology better. I hope you guys could hear it okay. There's a I was playing with it. There's like a patch to do it in a better way, but this is kind of the bootleg version I'm running right now with my speaker. Man. But there clearly is a path, guys. When there's a will, there's a way. There clearly is a way for financially the Devils to bring in, obviously, one of these players that everyone wants. The question is, will they try? I hope they do, but there is a path there. It's not the impossibility that a lot of people are making it out to be. There's multiple different paths. Tom A. Mercer is more valuable on our bottom 6 than whatever you get in return at the moment. If he has a better season, then we move him. I mean, again, this is probably not going to happen, but Mercer's more valuable than if we were able to package him for like Tuck. I'm going to say emphatically no.
Call from
Brian J.
Brian J.
Hey, my man.
What's going on, my man? I'm dying over here. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I feel like I'm talking to celebrity right now.
Oh, definitely not that. Definitely not that. Just like voiceless man and on a YouTube channel. How are you doing? You there?
Great, man. After that press conference today, man, I'm just like disgusted with Fitzy, man. I mean, I just don't understand like the whole top 6, what he's doing about that, how he's gonna try to like think Gritsuk and these guys are gonna, people that have never played in the NHL are gonna, step up and do this. But why can't we get rid of Hamilton? Why can't we get rid of Hamilton? I mean, I like the guy, but he's not healthy. He's going to free up some space for us to get a top 6 guy.
I mean, listen, I talked multiple times about this in the past week and with someone earlier tonight. I do think it's a calculated gamble to trade Dougie. I do understand why people want to trade him. We're kind of got crowded on the defense, the $9 million. I get it all. I do think we will fill his absence for sure. I do not believe that Luke is ready to just pick up the mantle and for us to seamlessly move on without him. Now, with that being said, that doesn't mean that I would not trade him in the right deal, because I certainly would. I am all about making the team better overall. If there's a sensible deal on the table that involves Dougie, I certainly would look at it. And if it made sense, I would pull the trigger on it. To answer your question of why can't we, again, I think it just comes down to that Fitz doesn't want to. I do believe that he fairly easily could trade Dougie if he wanted to. Likewise with Mercer. The only one I think that he will have some, trouble with is dumping the Palat situation. And again, you might have to get creative, bring in a third team, but there's a path to do that too. But in terms of just trading a player, I believe Mercer, if he wanted to do that, is fairly easy. I do think there'd be takers for Dougie Hamilton. And I certainly think if we were willing to shop a guy like Casey, there'd be tons of people lined up to try to get him as well. And so I don't think it's a function of that we can't. I think it is purely a function of Fitz does not want to.
But the thing is, Casey's a guy that can help with the offensive, help with the offensive Dougie, if we don't have Dougie. Like, he could help in that area. And the idea of getting rid of Mercer and Palat, even though I don't like Palat, like, we need offensive players. We can't just get rid of these guys and replace them with, one player. Like, we need depth. We have zero depth on offense.
No offensive depth. But in terms of Casey, listen, I like him a lot too. I think he's going to be good. But in the end, I don't think he would be an everyday play. Assuming there wasn't a several injuries on the blue line, I don't think he's going to be an everyday player this year. And it's like, how long do you try to do the juggling act of hanging on to both him and Nemitz? I think now back when I thought Casey might be the better of the two, or a better fit just because of his offensive upside. But I will tell you something that I forgot about that would make me feel a little bit better about potentially trading Casey is that his buddy and another Michigan Wolverine, Ethan Edwards, in the system brings that kind of puck moving offense as well. Maybe not quite as high end, but Ethan Edwards is another guy we have in the system where you're like, okay, well, can he kind of bring what we were, or one day what we were hoping Casey would? You know, at some point you're going to have to make hard decisions. And this is what a lot of people have been talking about. You know, you gotta put the balls on the table, and it's like, you can't stockpile every prospect and future if you want to win now, and you're going to have to make tough decisions. And honestly, if we're talking about even Seamus Casey as a super tough decision, how you expect him to make a decision on a guy like Dougie or something even bigger than that? And that's kind of why he's frozen.
Listen, I hear you on all that. I just feel like at this point, Dougie has some value, and we're going to hopefully get Quinn at some point. We're not going to be able to afford him, Quinn, all these players, and Luke. Get rid of him now. Get a good offensive player to help. And see, we're deep on defense, man. I feel like Dougie misses half the season anyways, man. He doesn't play, so I don't know.
I get it.
My 2 cents.
No, I get it. And if there's a deal out there that makes sense, I would be all for it. I'm just saying
there has to be, dude. The guy's he's offensive defenseman, man. Right-handed shot. There's teams out there that could use that. I don't know what 10 teams he's willing to go to, but I just think Fitz is a coward, and that's just what it is. Right now, I'm not happy with our top 6. We got 4 good players. The other guys are just, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Did you watch the press conference?
Yeah, I was like steaming, dude. Listen to this fucking guy. He's terrible at press conferences. Listen to this guy. I mean, he's terrible. He needs to take some fucking, some lessons on how to, I mean, it's ridiculous.
I wanted to smash my phone, but I just want to confirm that I'm not crazy, because one person tried to tell me I was. Your takeaway was essentially the same as mine. Is that like?
No, dude, the exact same. I mean, he's just essentially, he's content with based off what he said. He's content with our team at this point. He's not going to do anything.
His
record says it all.
That was my takeaway, and that some of these new guys, someone or Gritsuk, they'll fill in the top 6 and we'll figure it out.
Brown, Davidoff, these guys they're decent players, but they are not top 6 players.
No, they're nice ads for the bottom 6, not nice ads to try to convince us that they're top 6.
Well, we're on the same page, except for Timo's contract. But
listen, with the new cap era, man. Listen, Timo. Now, I mean, you're with what you're seeing these guys getting paid, you're gonna have to just be like, you know what? Maybe it's not so bad anymore.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Under $9 million.
Right, I'll let you go. I'm sure people are talking shit. I'm gonna get off the phone.
So. Good talking to you, man. Have a good one. Have a good night.
All right, later.
Take care. Oh, man, you guys are funny. Let me go to the chat real quick. Bobby, what's up, man? New to the channel, but really enjoy the passion you put into all your videos. Glad I found you. Thanks a lot, Bobby, a newcomer. Hopefully we see you around here. We have a pretty good stable of regulars that come here, and then there's some that are not as regular, but every so often. And so, yeah, welcome. Hanson, people should say their age when they're calling in. I like it. Age and city, maybe, or just age. Chris, why would you want a guy like Cairo anyway? A guy that cries because the fans boom. He has a hot sister, though. Did he cry because fans boom? Now I'm going to have to look up his sister. How do you know he has a hot sister, by the way? Mark, we can pool together our money and offer Fitz a lifetime of booze for free. Nah, dude, I was yelling. I was at the pool all day with my nephews running around yelling at them. Then I did a bunch of lives, and then I did a 9-hour live. That was I was already a little jacked up going into that. Tom says there's no path. Everything's about timing. We are in a holding pattern. Mercer is not getting you tuck. Obviously not just Mercer, Tom. My God, some of you people are so lost. Yeah, obviously not just Mercer, Tom. Mercer as part of a package. I thought that was implied. Tom, Hamilton is $9 million. The teams that want him would definitely need like $3 million. Maybe not all of them. Again, another contract that looks relatively a better value because of the cap climate we're in now, with the cap going up. Chowski, you should do a poll on what player we would most want to be part of a trade. Dougie, Mercer, Nemitz, Casey. Interesting. It's interesting. Oh my God, Jay Snow, you're so inappropriate. Bobby says Casey's not the solution. We don't need a 5'10", 170-pound defenseman. Get rid of Casey and Palat. And there he is, Woodson. The old stir. What's up, Woodson? What is everyone's favorite Fitz quote? It's got to be, what is depth scoring? How would it not be, what is depth scoring? Big game hunting is up there too. That's why would any team create a hole in their own top six for a Casey, Mercer, or Hamilton? They won't. Unless there's a team that has an abundance, or a guy that might be in the last year of his deal that said he doesn't want to be there anymore. I don't know. I'm sure there's some scenarios where you could possibly get it. But in my world, a lot of people have been talking about this Dougie towards a top six guy. I always thought in my head, the most likely scenario, if we were able to trade for a top six guy, that it would include Mercer with either a guy like Casey and picks or whatever, something more like that. But I suppose the Dougie thing is a possibility depending on a team's needs and whatever else. Wizen says it's hilarious. We're all crying for top six or center, but yet we signed Kovacevic. Now you don't have any money. You can't sign everyone. I mean, but again, there's no one is suggesting, or at least people that aren't crazy aren't suggesting we go out there and go after free agents. We're talking about get someone in a trade. There's clearly paths to freeing up cap space for a trade. Reaper Crew Garage Dawes has to get traded. He has a one-way deal and probably won't clear waivers. I'd imagine he definitely wouldn't. I'm curious what he would get. Bobby says we don't need Casey or Dawes. Trade them. Malik and Yegorov are our future. They both looked good today. Yeah, some of you guys are wild. Woods says trade Siegs. There's no reason you need to pay 3.5 for a bottom pair D-man. I could see it. I just feel like the team really likes him as well. He's part of the Swiss contingency. So all these things come into play. I'm not saying they're valid reasons, Woodson. I'm just telling you how the team thinks. I do think, Val, that people would still put a decent value on Casey, especially for a team that has a need for a puck-moving D-man. Yeah, a young right-handed puck-moving D-man. I still think he would have value. Most people are scarred. Most people are saying hell no on Siegs. I'm definitely not one of them. I understand that his ratings and all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. I get all of it, but I'm kind of with you there, Woodson. If the right deal presented itself, I wouldn't be against it. Agent City for Collins would be sweet. Maybe we could see a South Jersey fan for once. John Fay, about trading Dougie, he is injury prone, but his absence will be felt on the blue line and on the power play because he can shoot the puck when we need it most. I agree. I think people just assume that, like, oh, we don't need him. Like, listen, again, if a deal that makes sense is on the table, I would be all about it. But just know that on the other side of that, when he's gone, it's not going to be just smooth sailing from day one. It'd be great if it could be. I just don't see that being reality. Woodson, you really don't think anyone's going to take Palat, huh? What's up, Brandon? Just got here. How much did I miss? Should I start the stream from the beginning? I guess that's up to you. We are keeping our first round of exits for the next 2 or 3 years. Just being realistic, that is brutal. Brutal. We came in second. Surge verse. We have too many D-men. One of them will go soon. NHL is hard. We came in second. Nick says, to my Gritsuk has never played in the NHL before. Why should he be in the top 6 people? Believe it or not, the situation has happened before. Matter of fact, it happens every year. Oh, we have no doubt that it's happened and happens in other places. But what are the odds that the Devils get that lucky? I'm going to say probably not. It just seems like that would be a stretch for us. But I'd love to see it happen. He's a Surgerist, another doomer alongside SST, but he speaks the truth 75% of the time, unlike SST. SST wasn't here, Woodson, but it's probably crazy late where he is, so he might be gone. You can't ban someone who just continuously makes new names. He's made like 15 accounts. Less than 0%, Woodson? That seems... If you package some stuff with it. Antonino, half the fan base is lost worrying about future 5 years later. Yeah, the time to win is now. I don't give a shit about futures. Burn them up. Spend them if you got them. Jack, we have 5 NHL caliber right shot D-men. That is the most coveted position in hockey. 3 of them are puck movers. 1 has to go. They're always valued. Yeah. Like I've said for a while now, stemming back to last season, we have a need for offense and we have a plethora of defenders. Some teams are looking for them. It seems like a match made where you got some offense for me because I got some defense for you, and you make a little trade move. Mark, a deal involving Plot and Mercer won't bring back much, to be honest. One is on the downside of his career, and the other is a third liner. You add in like 2 first, Casey or Nemitz. Well, I think everyone's thinking the Plot is the Plot deal, a completely separate deal. That's like your salary dump or whatever you have to do to get rid of him deal. And now with that found cap space and then other assets, you then go and try to make a trade to improve this team. Bobby, anyone else extremely excited for Haminaho? I can't wait to see this kid in action. I am too. He was one of the guys that stood out to me at development camp. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but I was like, I think this kid's going to be a player. And Fitz mentioned him in one of his kind of 3 prospects that are going to have a chance to make the team. I would not be shocked if he played his way onto the opening night lineup as well. I think he's got a chance. And if he doesn't make it, I would imagine he would be one of the first guys called up when someone inevitably is injured. Yeah, Joshua said, you guys remember Fitz saying like a month ago we aren't coming back with the same group of guys because it wasn't good enough? Well, it's not the same group, but it's not nearly changed as much as I think most people thought based on him making that statement. Bobby, not really. I don't know. Seems kind of mediocre. I'm excited for Juho Lamico, though. Fitz surely saw a star. There's no way he brought a nothing burger guy in from the Swiss leagues. Woodson, we have no snarl outside of Cotter and Nason on the whole team. You got to give Timo a little bit. Have a good night, Faye. Antonino, I would do 2/3 for Rodriguez from Florida. They're looking to move bottom guy for cap. Someone brought him up the other night. I think he's got $3 million a year for 2 years left. I'm not mad at that. But again, now does doing that still need a sniper. Scott, potential bottom 6 as of right now. Dodonov, Glass, Brown, Palat, Cotter, Nason. Better than last year at least. Hope Halley turns into another mid-6 forward with more scoring upside. Kovacevic is nasty too, Woodson. But yeah, Dilly is our nastiest defenseman. I love Dilly. But Kovacevic is too. This is the $1 million question, Swamp Fox, right? I was talking to Steve the Maniac earlier, and it was like, this is what I said to him. I said we have I told him we have a top 4 and a bottom 10. Because like it's really what it is. And it's just like hoping that which 2 of the bottom 10 are gonna rise above and be in the top 6. And it's kind of crazy. And we saw it last year, and it's like we're repeating the same exact thing. I don't think Palat's gonna be here, Mark. I don't think Fitz doesn't see a problem with continuing with Jack, Bratt, Palat line. Yeah, but Pesci's also a shot blocking machine. You got to give him credit for that, Woodson. The guy eats pucks. Eats pucks. All right, let me see if I can find this now real quick. I don't know why that did that. It's showing the video upside down. It's annoying. I was going to show a Big Mike puck handling drill clip, but for some reason it pulls it up upside down. I don't know why. Super annoying. I hate technology and I hate everything. But what else are you guys fighting about in the chat? Brandon, I'd be surprised if we start the season with the roster as is, but then again, Fitz can leave you feeling wanting more. At this point, I'm expecting to see very little more done. No, Woodson, you just don't understand. This guy, Ace, needs a tech guy. You just don't understand that things don't work the way they're supposed to work, and it's out of my control. Like, there's all sorts of things that happen that are there's nothing that anyone can do about it. Like right now, there's a video. I've shared videos and things plenty of times. For whatever reason, it shows right side up when I add it into this little queue thing. Okay. But then when I pulled it up on the screen, it flipped it upside down. Like there's nothing that anyone could do about that. Ridiculous. Tasha Ace, do you think Brat's shoulder injury maybe had an impact on his production aside from playoffs? And do you see him having a difference, or will it make nothing? No, I think he was fairly healthy. I'm hoping to see Bratter get like a 40, 60, 100-point season, 40 goals, 60 assists. I would love to see it. But he's been Mr. Consistency and been a beast for years. We either trade someone for cap space or Luke ain't taking a 1-year deal. No, they'll figure it out. I think he's signing long-term for sure. Tom, what does that have to do? This, whatever you just wrote, has nothing to do with the video coming in upside down. I'm in device manager. There is no USB settings. There's USB controllers and USB devices. Why does Brad have 2 goals in 18 playoff games? It's a fair question. Mercer's not a center, and he said it. He doesn't want to play there. That's what I said. I said, asking for the guys that can play 2 different positions, ask them what they prefer to play. And at the end of the season, he said he liked playing wing better. So to me, it was like, all right, well, let's not play him at center unless we absolutely have no choice. You're talking to me, Chris? How did I lose weight fast? Mark Ace, did you miss the big trade with San Jose? We got Thomas Portillo. Championship. No chance he could last 4 playoff rounds. Same with Brad. I think Bratter could last 4 playoff rounds. D Dukes, I did go to the development camp today, and I was trying to show a peek. I was trying to give you guys a peek, but tomorrow I'm going to have a bunch of videos coming out from development camp. There'll probably be a vlog. And there's tons of footage of Big Mike and LaChance for sure. There'll probably be videos, specifically, like they'll probably have their own videos as well. There'll be a bunch. Keep your eyes peeled. They both looked good, and videos are coming. Chris, not intermittent fasting, just carnivore diet, no carbs, no sugar, just straight up carnivore diet. Lots of jogs, lots of walks, and hit the sauna. The sauna is beautiful. And yeah, I haven't been drinking a lot. The hockey season really killed me. Just hockey season ending alone is a diet for me. I'm not feasting in the sweets. I don't eat fruits at all, Chris. Carnivore diet, baby. Steak, burger patties, eggs. That's it. That is it. Carnivore. Tons of water every day. Get your steps up. Get your heart rate up. Hit the sauna. Let's go. No alcohol. No nothing. Sauna's huge. Oh, when I say no sugar, I mean very little sugar. Most of the time, I don't put any sweetener in my coffee. Lately, I've been cheating a little bit, and I've been getting one pump of the flavor. One flavor pump. They default put like 5 or 6. They're putting you on the highway to diabetes with the 5 or 6. I used to drink them regularly back in the day because they're delicious. Those things are like milkshakes. No, Chris, one day I'm eventually going to, I'm going to incorporate like more normal stuff like that. I've done little cheese, very little cheese, but for the most part, it's straight up red meat, eggs, little cheese, and occasionally I'll eat like a little chicken or something. And I've had many nights where I like messed up, like, I was at my brother's house and his kids have crazy snacks. So I was stuffing my face with all kinds of snacks. Like I fell off the wagon mad times, but yeah, carnivore is essentially a stricter keto. I'd eventually like to do more of a keto. I never thought I'd like miss grilled chicken Caesar salads. Like that's how redundant carnivore gets. You're like, damn, bro, I'm over here daydreaming about grilled chicken Caesar salads. Like whoever would have thought I would see the day? Certainly not I. But after you just eat the same kind of shit for a while, yeah, it kind of sucked. He had his visa issue. Well, yeah, he should be. No, maybe not, because he's in the KHL. Yeah, we might not see him at all until when he comes over here for good after his KHL season. Mark, Mercer, Casey, 2026 first and 2027 first might get our foot in the door to talk with Buffalo. I mean, I would have to believe that takes it down. I would like to believe you could take out one of those pieces. I feel like he only has 1 year left on his deal. Mercer, Casey, and 1 first should get it done. But I only do that if there's like a contract agreement in place. And again, that's all shady shit. I don't know how that works. Like, I'm not paying that without knowing one way or another that he could be re-signed for X amount of dollars. Scott, top need for the team, even above a 3C, has to be a power forward that can score 5-on-5 on Jack's wing, who can also add some protection. Hard to find. It'll be a steep price, but would be amazing. That's what I want Tuck for. Carnivore works. Sugar is the main thing to cut out. Use raw honey for sweetener. Yeah, I don't ingest much sugar at all. Yeah, it's funny. When Biz got the gout, I was laughing. I don't know. I've heard of it in the past. It's pretty wild. I heard of some of his story. Brandon, that's the problem with coffee. You have to add stuff just to make it bearable. Might as well drink caffeinated tea. Don't end up like Biz with the gout. Bobby Ace, would you do Mercer and Casey plus the second? Oh, I would do the deal. I would do Mercer, Casey in a first, probably. Again, assuming that there was either an extension in place or you knew you could extend him, I would do it. And again, I am a Mercer defender. I like Mercer. And I would try to pull Tuck off without trading Mercer. I would offer like Casey and 2 firsts maybe and hope that gets it done to keep Mercer. But if it came down to it that they were demanding Mercer, I would do it. Because these diets are short-term. Slowly, you'll get to your desired weight and bring in carbs. But just make sure you weight lift if you go to normal dieting. I know. I don't want to lift weights at all. I hate it. Mark, I've lost 8 pounds at the beginning of May. My secret is working part-time at Target. They got my old ass up and down that ladder stocking shelves. Oh, boy. I don't like climbing on ladders. I've had a couple scarring incidents in my life. Yeah, carbs are the devil. But they're so delicious. Tasha, only problem, Mercer isn't a crazy contributor, so does it really make a big difference? I mean, he's technically one of our better bottom 6 guys. But I'd rather count on the other bottom 6 guys to pick up the slack of Mercer in the bottom 6 than count on those same guys to pick up the slack in a top 6 role. I mean, I think that makes sense. $20.30, the future is bright. There's no way they're giving us Tuck for Mercer. That's the biggest no-brainer in the history of the world. There's no way. Brandon, I heard Tuck is loved on the bench like a heart and soul player, so his value might be too high for us to get. That'd be unfortunate. I would overpay for him. You're damn right I do, Woodson. I don't care about them. Look at Breezebaugh and Tampa. Trade all of them. I think the ask for Hit Thompson would be insane. I would try to get him too, but Brian, any current free agents you think the Devils might look into after they sign Luke Hughes? I haven't looked at the list again, but as far as I'm concerned, they should be looking at trades because the guys will have some years left at normal, the old cap world type of salaries. I hate running too. No. And I said, I like having first round picks to ultimately trade them. That's what I like them for. I don't want to draft with them. I love having them to trade them. D Dukes, I think if we got rid of Mercer, we would be offing ourselves when we see his production long term. You can't have FOMO though. Can never look back. If there's a reasonable deal in place or on the table for Mercer to go to Buffalo for Tuck, you make that deal and you never look back. I mean, Tuck has 1 year and Mercer has 2. That's not term. Doesn't Mercer only have 2 years left? He has an extra year. Yeah, I mean, Mercer has 2 years left and Tuck has 1. Chris says, Jason, I walk on an incline treadmill, 10 incline 3-speed for 20 minutes. So I do a fat burner program on the treadmill on 3.5 speed, and it changes the incline throughout. And I was talking to these young kids in the sauna. Some of these college kids I meet at the gym are hilarious. Yo, this kid, there's 2 of them. 15 incline. The shit's like this. Straight up and down. 15 incline on like 3 speed for an hour. When I saw this kid, Chris, I looked at him and I was like, bro, are you really going to do an hour on that? And he's like, yeah, it's not that hard. I said, I would drop dead maybe after 12 minutes. Brandon, after Luke, there was 0 cap left. As soon as they sign Luke, I know Fitz is done. Yes, but they could trade guys. Trade. Cap goes out. And if they get rid of Plot, that's another $6 million. Jack says, Nemitz, Mercer, 2 firsts for Thompson. That's a win now move. I do that deal all day too. Nemitz would be mean. Young promise. Yeah, I mean, these are the types of moves we're talking about, guys, right? Nemitz, Mercer, 2 firsts for Thompson. I do that deal. I do that deal. Fitz would never have the sack to do that trade. And I'm sure some people in this, even in this, tons of fans would say they wouldn't do that. I'm sure there's even people in here that wouldn't do that. But Jack, I am right with you. These are the types of moves that push a team forward and you let your balls hang. Nemitz, Mercer, 2 firsts for Thompson. And I don't even know if that'd be enough, but let's just pretend it would be. I'm doing that deal with you, Jack. Antonino, I would like Raquel as well. I would hate to lose Bratter. But if that was the only way to get Tage Thompson and they're like, we're not listening to any other thing you have to offer, I would say yes to that. He already told us that, Mark. He can only do one thing at a time. He was asked about if he's getting a center, and he said, my number one, my focus is Luke Hughes' contract. Let me see. Yeah, he'll still be an RFA. But still, he's going to get paid. And his agent, he has the super agent. Mercer's agent is the same as Luke's. And Pat Brisson, I'm pretty sure he's Crosby's agent. He was Marty's once upon a time. He's like the agent. I can't see Luke doing the bridge. Good night, Tasha. You'll never trade Nemitz for anything, Woodson? Mark, did you ask the 16 incline kid if he's interested in being a strength and conditioning coach? I think ours has the players eat donuts while walking at 0.5 with 0 incline. No, he was like a young athletic kid. I forget. He did some kind of sports in high school. He's a college kid, man. When I saw it, I was like, yo, you're wild. Yeah, 15 incline on like, I think 3 speed for an hour. And he tried to get his buddy who was there to do it. And his boy was bitching. And I was roasting the friend that was like trying to not do it because the kid who was doing it was like giving his friend the business about it. It was pretty funny. I have a better shot trading my used underwear than Fitz has moving Palat this summer. 2, Luke's agent is not Ferris. No, his agent's listed as Pat Brisson too. Chowski says I would never trade Brad. I would never want to trade him, but sometimes you could get painted into a corner. Mark, it's a huge risk, but maybe you do get Tuck even with him being in his last year. I only do it though. I don't know all the specifics because I feel like tons of times you see a guy like that traded and like there's a contract extension that comes shortly after. I don't know if the teams can allow you to talk to them or I guess maybe you could have the team do a sign and trade. However, you got to do it to get around the rules. Assuming you knew one way or another he could be extended and you knew what the number was going to be or roughly what it would be, I would do it. Now, if you don't have that reassurance, I would never pay a high price for a rental if that's what we're talking about. I really want Thompson. Oh, okay. Typo. I was also thinking, I don't think we can afford Quinn even if we get another top 6. We have a lot of money falling off in the next few years, I think. That was my logic, Snow, that he has 1 year left and Buffalo's not going anywhere. So I feel like it'd be a possibility. Woods and Buffalo won't give up Thompson unless it's a Hughes, bro, but no one wants to talk about it. Well, I'm just not talking about it because I know the team would never do it. So I don't like wasting my time on complete pipe dreams and ridiculousness. I feel like the other trades is ridiculousness enough, but at least it's somewhat more based in reality. Nemitz and Bratt for Thompson. I do that in half a second without hesitation. Woodson says not Nemitz and Bratt. What would you offer for Tage, Woodson? What would be an ideal trade for you? I'm curious. I'm assuming you like Tage Thompson. What would your scenario be? Casey, Bratt, and I cringe a first. I can't see Buffalo doing that. But obviously, you know, if Buffalo would accept a deal like that, it's something you must do. What would be the contract for Tuck on last year to extend? Well, I think he's making, let's see, I forget what he's making now. It's a pretty good deal. I want to say it's like $7 million. I forgot. I was thinking of somebody else. Yeah, Tuck's cap hit for the 1 year is 4.75 left for 1 year, 4.75. He'll probably get what, $9 million after that, I'd imagine. Tom, all this talk about building from D-core out and everyone wants to trade the D-men. We have a lot of D-men. Buffalo needs a right-handed D-man. Let's make it happen. I don't know that I would love that deal. Bratt for Robertson, that feels like a very lateral move to me. Woodson, are you in the camp that doesn't like Bratt? There's a lot of those people, too, for some reason. I love Bratter. No, I get that. I'm in the camp. We were too small. Bobby, would you do Mercer and Casey for Lafreniere at the trade deadline? No. No, I would not. Bratter is Mr. Consistent. Would only give up Bratt for Thompson. Woodson more like Mr. No-Show in the playoffs. I mean, listen, that is a fair criticism. While it's not a huge sample size, it's kind of big. Can you guys hear me? Brandon, I flip between Bratt being our best player to Nico every season. Can't trade either. I'd trade Bratt for the right player. Yeah, the image is... I hate technology, guys. Woodson, it has nothing to... I cannot control it, bro. There's nothing I could do. Brad is one of the few Devils who doesn't look like he plays for Mumford & Sons. Jack, we're all talking like this, but we all know Fitzgerald would never have the balls to make a move that would make a culture change. It's possible. Tom, Bratt and team are the most consistent players based on career averages. You can pencil in the production. Nico is up and down. Bear with me 1 second. No, it would really be tough for me to even want it. I mean, I would love Bradder to be a lifer, but if the team got put in a situation where, you know, he was going to bring you a piece that I thought helped us more, you got to look at it. It's irresponsible not to. It's irresponsible not to. Since I know you guys miss my face, there you go. You can look at that still. I can't do that because it takes the audio off too. I'm going to get off of here shortly. I can't bother trying to fix the thing right now. Finish up with the audio only. Mark says Nico's the most valuable player on this team, and he's going to walk because Fitz sucks. I could see it happen. I've said it's my biggest worry for quite some time now because what have you shown to want him to stay here? Corbin says, take it easy on my guys. Been working overtime lately on here. Thanks, Corbin. But remember, guys, if you're interested in the prospect stuff, I'm going to start sprinkling videos out there tomorrow, including lots of goaltender drills, the scrimmage game, Big Mike Yegorov, LaChance. Brad is untouchable in my book. He is too. He's kind of on my untouchable list, but like my untouchable list is kind of fake because in the end, I really don't have untouchables. It's like you have your guys that you think of as untouchables until something comes along the line where you have to think about it. Ace is on a week-long live. I respect it. It certainly feels like that. Bobby says, okay, I'll settle this. Mercer, Casey, and 3 firsts for Pasta. Do that in a heartbeat. I think I would too. I mean, those are the moves you got to make, guys. These are you guys are all just bringing up good points, and it all just goes to show these are all things that people would say are pipe dreams, but like they don't have to be, and they shouldn't be, and they shouldn't be viewed like that. Like these are the deals that move franchises forward. Jason, if this core can't get it done, I'd trade Brett. It depends on where the team is. Jack, would it be nuts to trade Heisher or Jack Hughes? One would get an absolute haul. I mean, Hall would fill out the other spots on the roster, and the other will officially be the undisputed 1C. I can't see it. I can't see them ever trading either one of them. Brad plays defense and should be the one to keep. We'll keep the fragile dude that all the T-Smith fans. That is the I hate technology face. Yeah, Sean Thompson at $7 million for 5 more years. That's even more so why he would command such an insane haul in free agency, because not only is he a great young player, but he has so much term at a great value left. I think it's like 7.1. Florida traded Huberto after a 100-point season. Bratt for Brady's the only thing that would make me pull the trigger. D. Dukes, you're dreaming. There's no way you get that deal done straight up. Dogzilla, Mercer's the only kid that never gets hurt. He's always getting smashed in the grill, and he doesn't miss a shift. I'm a Mercer guy. But again, if you can put him in a package to bring in a bona fide top 6 guy, I look at it all day and I make the move. But I like Mercer a lot. I've defended him all year. Anson, what will Nico make on his next contract? I'd imagine Nico will be making... It's not for 2 more years. So probably minimum $11 million, maybe even 13. The contracts are just going to keep getting crazier every year. Tom says most of the issues last year are injury related. That's the cold, hard, brutal truth. You can't use injuries as an excuse every year. And when you're counting on guys to not get injured that are injury prone, then what are we talking about? Woodson says Nico is so gone. It's my biggest fear. My biggest fear. Woodson, why would you want to play on a team with a core that'll be past their prime and a rookie goalie? Chase, no, I'm concerned our forward group is going to be super small this year. Bobby, do you see us getting Quinn in 2027? I think it's all but guaranteed. I essentially think the same. I think there's a good chance we would trade for him beforehand at some point. But it seems like him coming here in free agency is all but a guarantee. Foregone conclusion. All right, guys, that's it. I'm shot. I'm shot. Thanks for coming out. Some interesting conversations. Last time I offered the call-ins, not a lot of people did it. So I kind of forgot about it for a while. But if you guys like the call-ins, I guess that, that's something I will incorporate a little more often. The call-ins I'll definitely do more often. I'm going to have more guests on. I'm looking to have some other, Devils channel podcast type people on with me here and there. So look for all that. Tomorrow I will be dropping some of the development camp rookie stuff. So if you're into that, I got some cool videos coming for that. And I'll be back soon. I'm dying. Be back soon. Great talking to all of you. Thanks for watching. Hit the thumbs up on your way out if you haven't. Hit that thumbs up. Hit the like for your boy. Your screenshot is every GM in the league when Fitz calls to try and trade the lot. Hit the thumbs up. Thank you all for joining. Love all of you. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.